Welcome to a full hour of fun facts, things you did not know, and facts that will blow your mind. Before starting, I ask you something very simple. Like the video, subscribe to Zarpado, and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss any fun facts. Let's start right now. In Madagascar, there is a tradition called Famadihana, or the turning of the bones. Every 5 or 7 years, families exhume their loved ones, clean their remains, dress them in new clothes, and parade them around while dancing. For them, death is not the end, but a big family reunion. In Ghana, some funerals have become true viral spectacles. The pallbearers do not just carry the coffin, they dance with it to the rhythm of the music. The idea is to celebrate the life of the deceased with joy, colors, and choreography worthy of TikTok. In several Belgian cities such as Ath and Dendermonde, locals parade gigantic figures up to 33 feet tall, built from wood, paper, and fabric. These figures represent heroes, saints, or mythical characters and are carried through the streets as if they were alive. It is like a parade of colossal puppets straight out of a medieval tale. In this tribe of the Omo Valley, men and women decorate their skin by making controlled cuts, creating scar patterns they consider beautiful and that mark important life events. Each scar tells a story: courage, maturity, beauty, or hunting achievements. Their body literally becomes a biography written in living flesh. Young men of this Amazonian tribe must put their hands into gloves filled with bullet ants, which have the most painful sting in the world, and endure the stings for several minutes to prove their bravery. They repeat the ritual more than 20 times before being considered true men of the tribe. It is like a ninja test, but where the enemy is pure liquid pain. In Russia, there are competitions where 2 participants sit face to face and slap each other with open hands until one gives up or gets knocked out. The crowd shouts. There are judges, slow motion, and cash prizes. The only sport where your cheek is the punching bag. In Aomori, every year about 26 feet of snow falls. Yes, you heard that right, 8 meters. Houses are designed with extremely steep roofs, people use electric shovels, and cars have special engines to withstand the weight of the snow. Here it is not clearing the sidewalk, it is fighting white mountains every day. Before being demolished in the 1990s, Kowloon was the most densely populated place on the planet. More than 30,000 people lived crammed into a maze of dark corridors, improvised buildings, total lack of planning, and almost no presence of authorities. There was no proper sanitation system, the constructions were unstable, and sunlight barely reached many areas. In Japan, shirako is considered a delicacy. It is the sperm glands of cod, halibut, or pufferfish, served raw, steamed, or fried. They have a creamy texture, a slightly sweet taste, and well, yes, they are what they are. Visually, they look like a mix of tiny brains and poorly set custard. Eskimos are ant larvae harvested directly from underground nests. They look like soft grains of rice, have a creamy texture, and a buttery flavor with a hint of nut. Like in Mexico, they are prepared fried, in tacos, or scrambled. Although locals consider them a delicacy, for the average tourist, it is hard to forget they are eating the babies of thousands of ants. Clive Christian created Imperial Majesty, a perfume limited to only 10 units. Each bottle is made of baccarat crystal with an 18-karat gold neck and 5 embedded diamonds. Price around $215,000 per bottle. The perfume smells good, but the real luxury is in the bottle. It is basically the only perfume in the world that needs a safe. In the middle of the vast dunes of the Al Qudra Desert in Dubai, a surprising creation emerges. 2 lagoons merge to form the shape of a heart. This man-made work, in addition to representing a symbol of eternal love, serves as a refuge for various wildlife species and an ideal destination for couples seeking tranquility in connection with nature. Every 6 years in the mountainous region of Nagano, Japan, the daring Onbashira Festival takes place. known for being one of the riskiest events in the country. In this ancient ancestral ceremony, brave participants cut down gigantic trees and then ride them downhill on these colossal logs, facing gravity and speed. Moonwalkers are a revolutionary invention that can be easily attached to any regular pair of shoes. Designed especially for people with fast-paced lives who need to save time, such as those dealing with morning rush to get to work. They include a rechargeable battery that allows you to travel up to 6 miles without additional effort. An innovative skydiver built a kind of real flying carpet starting from a wingsuit. He adapted a lightweight frame with a design inspired by Oriental carpets, allowing him to glide through the air while flying. In the Philippines, every year students receive an unusual challenge to create helmets designed to prevent any kind of cheating during exams. These creations become true artistic pieces, combining ingenuity and creativity to guarantee originality in the classroom. The creator Tom Curtis took childhood fantasy to a surprising dimension. He used Photoshop to turn the animal illustrations made by his son into hyper-realistic figures with a slightly disturbing style. And this project mixes the innocence of children's drawings with a striking visual effect, showing how technology can reinvent children's art in a unique and creative way. In this Japanese ritual, thousands of men almost naked wearing only a loincloth called fundoshi fight to obtain a pair of sacred sticks that bring luck for the year. Everything happens in the middle of winter under freezing temperatures. The mix of faith struggle crowds and extreme cold makes it as intense as it is unusual. Imagine fighting with thousands of people practically in underwear in the middle of a freezer. In this strange Japanese tournament, 2 sumo wrestlers compete while holding babies, trying to make them cry as quickly as possible. It is believed that crying purifies, drives away evil spirits, and brings good health. Meanwhile, parents happily watch as their babies are subjected to the first big scare of their lives. Krispy Kreme in New York is considered the most expensive donut in the world with a price of $11. And this luxury donut is a tribute to the famous New York apple, standing out for its apple glaze in a creamy filling. It also includes a pretzel stick and a decorative green pastry cream leaf that gives it a unique touch. In the city of Sheboygan, every year the Toilet Paper Toss Festival takes place, where participants compete by throwing rolls of toilet paper at baskets, poles, or even trees. It all started as a local joke, but ended up becoming a massive family event. Basically a carnival of precision with paper that normally has a much less glamorous use. Located in Mumbai, the Dharavi neighborhood is one of the largest and most densely populated slums in the world. More than 1 million people live compressed into just 0.8 square miles. Narrow streets, accumulated garbage, open sewers, metal and plastic roofs, and almost no basic services. What if we let the fish rot for a while and then eat it? Surströmming is a herring fermented for months. When you open the can, it releases a gas that should practically be considered a biological weapon, a mix of rotten egg, dead fish, closed public bathroom, and a decomposing demon. It is so intense that it is forbidden to open it on airplanes and enclosed buildings. But there, they eat it calmly with potatoes, onions, and noses of steel. In the Philippines, they said, what if we wait a little longer before eating the egg? That is how a balut is born, a duck egg with the embryo already developed inside. Yes, beak feathers, little eyes, and even well-formed bones. It is boiled, peeled, and eaten whole. And when you bite it, you feel the combination of creamy yolk cartilage, crunchy bones, and existential crisis. The pink handfish lives on the seafloor of Tasmania, and unlike almost all fish, it does not swim. It has fins that look like small hands with which it literally walks on the seabed as if it were the main character of its own series. It is so rare that for years it was thought to be extinct until it reappeared as if saying, relax, I am still walking around here. In Mexican caves lives this white fish without eyes, completely blind. Since it lives in absolute darkness, its eyes stopped developing and its skin lost pigment. But its other senses became extremely sharp. It detects minimal vibrations in the water and can find food in complete darkness as if it had a natural radar system. A true ninja of underground caves. When in the Sargasso Sea, huge circular whirlpools occur that rotate steadily for months. Some of these vortices attract plankton fish and nutrients, creating mobile microecosystems. The exact reason for their formation is a great mystery. Winds, tides, and currents do not fully explain them. They look like underwater portals that spin and spin and spin, as if waiting for someone to figure them out. The Nautilus has existed almost unchanged for 500 million years. It has a spiral shell that protects it and controls its buoyancy with internal chambers filled with gas. It is a living fossil that has survived mass extinctions, brutal climate changes, and extreme evolution. Philip Zimbardo locked 24 students, simulating prisoners and guards in a Stanford basement. In just days, the guards began to psychologically torture the prisoners, and the violence escalated so quickly that the experiment was canceled in less than a week. It showed how easily people can become cruel with a little power and zero supervision. On the avenues of Tokyo, it is common to find an elderly man calmly walking accompanied by his tortoise, which is already 26 years old. This peculiar pair has gained popularity throughout Japan, attracting the curiosity of locals and visitors alike who take the opportunity to capture images of this unusual walk that breaks from the ordinary in the bustling city. Among the bright turquoise waters of the Gulf of Mexico, right between the islands of Islamorada and Linden, there is a little-known natural treasure, the Islamorada sandbar. This ephemeral piece of land can only be reached by boat and offers a unique experience. Here it is possible to walk waist-deep in crystal-clear waters while playful dolphins and majestic stingrays glide freely around. In the Chinese city of Xiamen, there's a spectacular bridge known as Skyway, designed exclusively for cyclists. This elevated path stretches for more than 4 miles, offering a unique experience for those who prefer to ride at height with panoramic views. In Iceland, certain coasts seem to belong to another world. The dark sand that covers them is a direct result of the action of active volcanoes. During volcanic eruptions, molten rock spilled out, and when it solidified, it broke into small fragments that formed this unique scene. This natural environment attracts visitors fascinated by its otherworldly beauty and geological origin. Since 2005 in Anchorage, Alaska, a unique tradition has been celebrated: the annual construction of a giant snowman that can reach up to 16 feet in height. Nicknamed Snowzilla, a play on words combining snow and Godzilla, this colossal figure has become a local symbol. However, because it is built in a residential area, there have been several attempts to ban these constructions, although the tradition continues. The coin called Big Maple Leaf, produced by the Royal Canadian Mint, is one of the largest gold coins in the world, with a weight of 220 pounds. Its face value is 1 million Canadian dollars, but because it is made of pure gold, its real value far exceeds that amount. A total of 5 coins of this type were produced, and in 2017, one of them was stolen from a museum in Berlin. The spiny lizard known as Malachoridus has a curious adaptation, a false head located just above its real head, which it displays when it feels threatened to deceive attackers and distract them. In addition, this reptile can change the color of its skin to blend into its surroundings and avoid being detected. The creative Vika Bren turns her body into a true artistic spectacle, using body paint to create surprising optical illusions. Her skill allows her to manipulate perception, creating images that confuse and fascinate the eye. Each work on her skin challenges visual rules with astonishing detail. A spectacular route known as the Annapurna Circuit zigzags through the peaks of the Himalayas, offering wonderful views at every turn. The Scenic Road in India ends at one of the most iconic places in the nation, the imposing Taj Mahal. The dik-dik, a tiny antelope, is the smallest in the world. Its height rarely exceeds 16 inches, and it stands out for a distinctive split nose shaped like a heart. This peculiar structure allows it to better regulate its internal temperature, a vital advantage for surviving the intense heat of the African regions where it lives. Just about 7 miles from Bali lies Nusa Penida, a paradise island that can be reached in less than 1 hour by boat. This remote place dazzles with its steep coasts, untouched beaches, and the deep blue of its waters. Nature dominates the landscape, offering impressive views and a peaceful atmosphere. A visual creator of Chinese origin, Liu Balin, has gained worldwide fame for his extraordinary talent in artistic camouflage. Through meticulous body painting techniques, he recreates the details of the environment on himself until he completely blends in. His body becomes a canvas, disappearing into wall shelves or urban landscapes. Flight Fest has become the most prominent aeromodeling gathering in the United States. During this event, the sky is completely filled with remote-controlled airplanes, creating a fascinating spectacle. Pilots and enthusiasts share their passion and skills, making this celebration a true paradise for aviation lovers. In Hunan Province in China stands the Aizhai Bridge, a notable section of the G60 highway. This impressive structure spans a deep valley and connects important transport routes. Its design allows vehicles to pass smoothly at great height, integrating perfectly with the mountainous landscape. The bridge not only facilitates regional mobility, but has also become a modern engineering attraction. In Kalbarri National Park in Western Australia, there is an observation platform that extends 82 feet beyond the edge of a cliff. From there, visitors can contemplate the deep canyon carved by the Murchison River. This suspended structure provides an impressive panoramic view of the arid rocky landscape. The German Philipp Traber performed an impressive maneuver by filling 17 tall glasses with energy drink and in one fluid motion placing 17 small glasses with Jägermeister on top of them. The synchronization and balance he demonstrated left spectators astonished. The execution was so precise that none of the containers tipped or spilled. This act earned him recognition in the world of beverage entertainment. Ik, the tiny pygmy seahorse, is among the smallest creatures on the planet. It barely reaches 0.8 inches in length and goes unnoticed in coral reefs thanks to its amazing camouflage ability. Its body has bumps and colors that make it almost indistinguishable from its surroundings. This stealthy marine inhabitant was unnoticed by science for years. In Shanghai, an old quarry stopped being a deserted site to become the impressive, semi-submerged hotel, Shimao Wonderland Intercontinental. This innovative accommodation uses the excavated space to offer rooms that seem to blend with the natural and aquatic environment. The project stands out for its futuristic design and the harmonious fusion between architecture and landscape. Now, in 1991, Arnold Schwarzenegger earned a record sum of $15 million for starring in Terminator 2: Judgment Day. This amount made him the highest-paid actor of that period. His role in the film was key to achieving this unprecedented financial success. Lulu Lotus achieved a world record for whistling using only her nose, reaching a volume of 44.1 decibels. This feat is due to her exceptional muscular control in the throat, which allows her to control and amplify sound. Her achievement surprised experts and audiences due to its uniqueness and power. Thanks to this unusual ability, she gained international recognition. In General Carrera Lake, located in the Aysén region in Chile, are the famous marble chapels. And these limestone formations were sculpted by the constant action of water, showing colors ranging from deep blue to bright turquoise. Due to their unique beauty and ecological value, they were officially protected as a natural sanctuary since 1994. In Komodo, on an island called Pantai Merah, located in Indonesia, there is a unique beach known for its sand tinted a delicate pink color. This special coloration comes from the combination of white sand and small fragments of red coral that have broken over time. The area is quite isolated and remains practically untouched with a little human intervention. On July 30 in the year 2016, Luke Akins, a professional skydiver, performed a historic jump from a plane at an altitude higher than 25,000 feet without using a parachute. This extreme feat captured worldwide attention due to the risk and precision required. His safe landing was possible thanks to a special net placed on the ground. In the city of Sonkajärvi, Finland, men compete by running an obstacle course carrying their wife on their shoulders. The rule: whoever arrives first without falling wins the equivalent of the wife's weight in beer. The tradition has medieval roots, but today it is a bizarre spectacle of speed balance and a lot of back pain. The expression crocodile tears has a semi-real origin. Some species, such as the Nile crocodile, secrete tears not out of sadness, but while eating. The act of ingesting and vigorous chewing stimulates the tear glands, which helps eliminate excess salt from the body and also lubricates the throat to swallow whole prey. Eating a salad without washing it properly could send you to the hospital. There is a larva called Angiostrongylis cantonensis that lives in rats and can stick to lettuce leaves. And then if you ingest it without noticing, in some cases, it can reach the brain and cause meningitis with intense pain. Something as simple as not washing a salad can turn out very costly. Just like police use fingerprints to identify criminals, biologists who study silverback gorillas in the jungle identify them by their noses. Each gorilla has a unique pattern of wrinkles and ridges on its nose that never changes throughout its life, functioning like a nasal fingerprint. The SR-71 Blackbird was the fastest aircraft in the world, capable of exceeding Mach 3. Because it heated up so much in flight, the fuselage panels expanded by several inches. That is why when cold they had gaps and constantly leaked fuel. They only sealed when the aircraft reached supersonic speeds due to the expansion of the metal. According to a study by the Center for Retail Research, the most stolen supermarket item in the world with a theft rate of up to 4% of its inventory is cheese, especially Parmigiano Reggiano. It is a product with high value per weight, easy to hide, and with strong demand on the black market, making it a primary target for organized theft. If you hate cilantro, it is not that you are picky. You have a variant of the OR6A2 gene that allows you to detect the aldehydes in cilantro, which are the same chemical compounds used to make soaps and perfumes. For you, eating cilantro is literally like eating a piece of soap. It is pure genetics. The dental enamel that covers the crown of the teeth is the hardest substance produced by the human body. It is composed mostly of crystallized calcium phosphate. Although it is incredibly hard and resistant to wear, it cannot regenerate if damaged, unlike bones, which do have the ability to repair themselves. The partridge is a bird with 360-degree vision. Its eyes are positioned so far back on its head that it can see what is behind it without turning its neck, even while its beak is stuck in the ground, searching for worms. Its brain is arranged differently. The cerebellum sits below the rest of the brain to make space for its large eye sockets. The stems and heads of young sunflowers demonstrate heliotropism, the ability to follow the movement of the sun from sunrise to sunset. This maximizes light absorption for photosynthesis. Once the flower matures, the stem becomes rigid, and the head fixes itself permanently facing east, waiting for the morning sun. When a car takes a turn, the outer wheel has to travel a greater distance than the inner one. Without the differential, a mechanical gear component, the wheels would spin at the same speed and the car would skid or break the axle. It is one of the most brilliant and overlooked parts of automotive engineering. The giant panda has a unique adaptation in its wrist called a false thumb. It is not a true finger, but an enlarged sesamoid bone that has evolved to function like an opposable thumb. This adaptation is crucial for the panda to grasp and peel bamboo stems with precision, its main food source. Ships carry a red light on the left port side and a green light on the right starboard side. If you are navigating and see a red light, it means the other vessel has the right of way and you must slow down. It is a visual rule system that prevents collisions in the middle of the night and has worked for centuries with the same logic. Lake Natron in Tanzania is a lake that turns animals into statues. Due to an extremely alkaline pH similar to ammonia and a temperature close to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, animals that die in its waters calcify rapidly. The result is perfectly preserved bodies of birds and bats that look like stone sculptures. Bowling lanes are covered with a layer of lubricating oil similar to motor oil that is applied strategically. The oil is not spread evenly, it is usually thicker in the center and thinner on the edges. This forces the player to throw with a side spin or curve, since the ball only grips the lane when it reaches the drier area. Police speed radars do not directly detect the speed of a car, but measure the change in frequency of the reflected radio wave called the Doppler effect. To be accurate, the radar must point in a line as parallel as possible to the direction of travel of the vehicle. An angle that is too oblique can produce readings lower than the real speed. Plastic lids from takeout coffee cups have a double function. If you remove the lid and place it on the table, you will see that the base of the cup fits perfectly into the grooves of the lid. It is designed to serve as an improvised coaster that collects the drops that slide down the cup, protecting the table surface. The design of the modern wire hanger is attributed to Albert J. Parkhouse in 1903. The need was simple: to create a shape that saves space in the closets of a wire factory. What the design with its rounded shoulders and hook became the global standard due to its low manufacturing cost and efficient shape. In the past, pistachios were dyed red to hide stains and cracks in the shell left after manual harvesting. Today, the process is so clean and technological that they no longer need to camouflage the natural appearance of the nut. That is why you no longer find red pistachios in stores like before. When a snowstorm hits the plains, cows get scared and run away from the storm, which causes it to chase them and makes them suffer longer. American bison do the opposite. They turn and run directly into the storm. By moving in the opposite direction, they pass through it much faster and suffer less. Emergency beacons on ships do not send a rescue signal directly. When activated, they transmit a radio signal on the frequency of 400 to 6 megahertz, which is picked up by the International Satellite Network. The satellite triangulates the position of the beacon and then retransmits the message to rescue centers around the world. In many helicopters, the entire main rotor assembly is held to the mast by a single massive central nut. In military aviation slang, it is called the Jesus nut. Why? Because if that nut fails in mid-flight, the blades detach, and the only thing left for the pilot is to pray. The Papuan frogmouth is one of the birds that best masters camouflage. Belonging to the nightjar family, its plumage perfectly imitates bark-dry branches or broken tree stumps. They usually perch vertically and freeze their posture, making them almost indistinguishable from an inert part of the tree. In the region of Sagada, Philippines, elderly people carve their own coffins before dying, and when they pass away, their families hang them on the side of a cliff or on the balconies of caves. They believe that the higher the body is placed, the closer the soul will be to its ancestors, creating a visual landscape of buildings of the dead that defies gravity. Wearing flip-flops or soft-sole sandals while driving is dangerous because the sole of the shoe can bend, slip, or get stuck between the brake pedal and the accelerator. This can be catastrophic in an emergency where fast and decisive braking is required. It is one of the most underestimated risks behind the wheel. You have taste receptors in your lungs and stomach. Although you do not taste food with them, your body uses them to detect chemicals and bacteria. In the lungs, these receptors help detect toxins and activate the cilia to expel them through coughing or sneezing, while in the stomach they regulate digestion. The miracle fruit Syncypalum dulcificum is a small red berry whose protein miraculin binds to your sweet receptors. During the next hour, everything you eat that is acidic will taste sweet. Well, you can bite a lemon as if it were a sweet orange or drink vinegar as if it were syrup. It is a complete chemical trick. The smallest bat in the world can fit on a finger. The species known as the bumblebee bat measures barely 1 inch and weighs about 0.07 ounces. It lives in caves in Thailand and Burma and is one of the smallest mammals on the entire planet. The largest tire manufacturer in the world is not Michelin, it is the toy brand Lego. By sheer production volume, they make more than 300 million small rubber tires each year for their toy cars, far surpassing the combined industrial production of brands that make tires for real vehicles. A large portion of communication satellites orbit in what is called geosynchronous orbit at 22,236 miles above the equator. At this altitude, the satellite takes 24 hours to complete an orbit, remaining fixed over the same point on Earth. This position is known as the Clark Belt. In the Amazon in Peru, there is a river called Shanai Timpishka, whose waters reach 201 degrees Fahrenheit. There is no active volcano nearby to explain that heat. If an animal falls into the water, such as a frog or a bird, its eyes cook in seconds and it dies boiled from the inside out before it can escape. The deepest subway station in the world is Arsenalna in Kiev, Ukraine. It is located at a depth of 344 feet, equivalent to a 34-story building. It was built at such depth not only because of the geology of the area, but intentionally to function as an air raid shelter. Statistically, you are much more likely to die crushed by a soda vending machine than attacked by a shark. Usually because people get angry, shake it to make the product fall, and the tons of weight come down on them. Sharks are actually not aggressive toward humans. Opossums have a remarkable partial immunity to a wide variety of snake venoms, including rattlesnakes. Their famous trick of playing dead is not a voluntary act, but an involuntary state of shock. The animal collapses, its breathing becomes shallow, its heart slows down, and it emits a foul smell to simulate decomposition. Cheetahs, despite being the fastest land animals, cannot roar. They have a specialized vocal anatomy that prevents them from producing the deep growls of big cats like lions or tigers. Instead, they make a sound similar to a bird, and when they are happy, they purr just like a domestic cat. When a dog spins in circles before lying down, it is not doing it randomly. It is a behavior inherited from its wild ancestors who did it to flatten grass and make sure there were no snakes or other dangers before sleeping. Even if it now sleeps on a soft bed, its instinct is still active. The saltwater crocodile has the strongest bite force recorded in the animal kingdom. Its jaw can exert immense pressure measured in tons per square inch. However, the muscles it uses to open its jaw are extremely weak. A person can keep its mouth closed using only a thick rubber band. 99% of the species that have lived on Earth are extinct. Although life has been incredibly diverse, most species that ever existed are no longer here. Fossils are the proof of those ancient worlds, and each discovery changes our understanding of natural history. The real color of farmed salmon meat is gray. In the wild, salmon are pink because they eat crustaceans with red pigments. Farmed salmon fed with pellets would be an unappealing gray color, so producers add natural pigments to their food so the meat has that pink-orange color we expect in the supermarket. Spacesuits cost $12 million each, more expensive than most luxury homes. They have 14 layers of different materials with life support systems, temperature control and protection against radiation and micrometeorites. Only 18 suits were made for the entire space shuttle program. Birds do not get electrocuted on high-voltage wires because for an electric current to flow, there must be a difference in potential between 2 points. Since the bird only touches one wire and does not touch the ground, or another wire, both of its feet are essentially at the same electrical potential, creating a harmless open circuit. The Mariana Trench has a pressure of 1,086 bar. It is like having 50 jumbo jets stacked on top of every square meter of your body. If you were teleported to the deepest point of the ocean, your lungs would collapse, instantly your bones would break, and you would be compressed to the size of a soccer ball. The first product of Nintendo was not video games. The Japanese company was founded in 1889, making Hanafuda playing cards, which were handmade floral cards. Its transition to toys and eventually to video games began almost 80 years after its founding. The leaf insect not only looks like a leaf, but has developed dynamic camouflage behavior. To simulate being a leaf moved by the wind, it gently sways from side to side when it walks. Some even have spots that mimic damage or mold found on real leaves, fooling any predator. CDs were designed to hold exactly 74 minutes because that is the length of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. For the president of Sony insisted that a CD should be able to store his favorite recording in full. A musical decision from 1979 defined the standard of digital storage for decades. The belief that hot water kills more germs when washing your hands is incorrect. The water temperature needed to kill bacteria would have to be so high that it would burn the skin. The real key to hygiene is the mechanical action of scrubbing and the lather from soap, not the temperature of the water you use. The pufferfish contains enough poison to kill 30 adult humans. Its tetrodotoxin is 100 times more lethal than cyanide, and there is no antidote. In Japan, chefs need 3 years of training and a special license to prepare fugu, the dish made from pufferfish meat. Even so, several people die each year from improperly prepared dishes. The burning sensation when eating chili peppers is not detected by taste buds, but by pain receptors in the mouth. The compound capsaicin activates these receptors, which normally respond to physical heat, making the brain interpret the sensation as a burn. Spiciness is a sensation of pain, not a taste. Your smart TV is spying on you even when it is turned off. Standby mode keeps the microphone active, listening for the voice command to turn it on. Many brands admitted that they record conversations and send them to servers to improve voice recognition. Your turned-off television constantly listens and transmits data. The 4 minarets surrounding the Taj Mahal are not placed vertically. They were built with a slight outward tilt away from the central tomb. This intentional design ensures that in case of an earthquake, the minarets fall away from the main dome, protecting the central monument. Female tarantulas can live up to 30 years, but males die after mating. Males live only 3 to 7 years and die shortly after reproducing. Some females eat the male immediately after mating. The female can live 3 decades raising offspring from 10 different males that died young. If all humans disappeared tomorrow, nuclear power plants would explode within 1 week. They require human operators constantly monitoring and cooling the reactors. Without human intervention, the cooling systems would fail, causing a chain of nuclear disasters around the world. Golf balls have dimples to reduce aerodynamic drag and increase lift. The number of dimples varies from 300 to 500. The dimples create a thin, turbulent layer of air around the ball, allowing it to fly up to 4 times farther than a smooth ball. The honey badger has skin so elastic and loose that it works like independent armor. If a predator grabs it, the badger can literally twist inside its own skin to bite the attacker's face while still being held. It can also take a king cobra bite collapse for a couple of hours and wake up as if nothing happened. The flatworm planaria has an extraordinary ability to regenerate. If it is cut into pieces, each piece can regenerate a new complete worm. Most astonishing is that if its head is cut off, it can regenerate not only the head, but also a functional brain with intact memory, a phenomenon intensely studied in neuroscience. At airports, runway lights form a system that tells you if you are too high or too low. If the pilot sees 2 white lights and 2 red lights, the approach is perfect. If all lights are white, the plane is too high and will overshoot the runway. If all lights are red, the plane is too low and risks crashing before reaching it. Chewing gum does not really lose its flavor. The flavor compounds that are soluble in water are quickly released by saliva. Once the surface layer of these compounds dissolves, what remains is the water-insoluble gum base, which is odorless and tasteless, creating the false sensation of total flavor loss. Mercury thermometers are banned on most airplanes because mercury, if spilled, can dissolve the aluminum the aircraft is made of within minutes. A process called amalgamation can create a hole in the fuselage during flight, compromising the structural integrity of the aircraft. Your bones are hollow inside and have a structure called trabecular bone that mimics the shape of the Eiffel Tower. This lattice design allows the bone to be extremely light so you can move quickly but strong enough to withstand pressures that would crush a block of concrete. In Hammerfest, Norway, the sun remains above the horizon for 76 days from mid-May to late July due to its location above the Arctic Circle. This phenomenon is known as the midnight sun and completely transforms the lives and rhythms of its inhabitants. The archerfish, native to Southeast Asia, hunts land insects that rest on leaves and branches above the water. It shoots a jet of pressurized water with incredible accuracy, knocking the prey into the water. It can adjust its aim to compensate for light refraction, a calculation that would make any physicist proud. Cairo has a neighborhood called Manshiat Nasser, known as Garbage City, where about 60,000 people live, dedicated exclusively to collecting and recycling the waste of the entire metropolis. Unimpressively, they recycle nearly 85% of what they collect, a rate that surpasses any technological recycling plant in Europe. The name LEGO is not a random acronym, but comes from the Danish phrase "leg godt," which literally translates to play well. This phrase captures the original philosophy of the company to encourage creativity and quality play. Interestingly, in Latin, Lego means "I assemble a perfect coincidence." The three-point seat belt was invented by Swedish engineer Niels Bohlin in 1959 while working for Volvo. The company, recognizing the invaluable life-saving value of this invention, released the patent so any manufacturer could use the design for free. It is one of the greatest contributions to public safety in history. The ironfoot snail lives in deep hydrothermal vents and has a unique outer shell and scales. This armor is made of iron sulfide, a material that has inspired military engineers designing bulletproof vests. In fact, its shell functions like a natural magnet due to its metallic composition. Pilots and co-pilots eat different meals during flights to avoid food poisoning. If both ate the same thing and got sick at the same time, no one could control the aircraft. This measure was adopted after an incident in 1975 when 197 passengers of Japan Airlines suffered severe food poisoning. LED light bulbs can last 25 years, but they are made to die in 3. This is called planned obsolescence. Technically, an LED could last 50,000 hours, but manufacturers add cheap components that intentionally fail at 10,000 hours. If they made bulbs that lasted forever, they would go bankrupt because no one would buy replacements. Most pedestrian crossing buttons at traffic lights do nothing. They are disconnected. The light changes on fixed program cycles. The button exists only to give you a sense of control so you do not cross on red out of impatience. In large cities, 90% of these buttons are placebos. You have waited uselessly pressing dead plastic thousands of times. A cat's whiskers are not ordinary hairs. They are kinetic sensors as sensitive as human fingertips. They are deeply embedded in the skin and connected to a complex nervous and muscular system. When the cat uses them like a proximity radar to detect subtle changes in air currents and determine if it can pass through an opening. The mirrors in fitting rooms in many clothing stores are not mounted flat against the wall, but instead are tilted back by a few degrees. This creates an optical illusion that lengthens your legs and makes you look slimmer. They also usually use warm frontal lighting to soften facial shadows. Geese are famous for their V formation migration, which saves aerodynamic energy for the group. What is curious is that in their beak and tongue, they have sharp tooth-like structures called lamellae or false teeth. These are not used for chewing, but for gripping and cutting grass in aquatic plants, acting like a biological comb. Mosquitoes buzz in your ear because they are singing to find a mate. and that unbearable noise is produced by their wings beating 600 times per second. The pitch of the buzz is a specific frequency that helps males and females recognize each other in the dark. Your head is the meeting point where they try to find a partner before biting you. The cocktail effect is the ability of the human brain to focus on a single conversation in a noisy and distraction-filled environment. The brain not only amplifies the desired sound, but actively filters and suppresses background noise frequencies, allowing selective auditory focus even at a loud party. Crocodiles have a valve in their throat. Unlike us, they can open their mouths underwater without drowning. They have a special membrane at the back of the throat that tightly seals the passage to the lungs and stomach. This allows them to grab prey underwater and hold it without swallowing a single drop. Lobsters have an enzyme called telomerase that repairs their DNA, allowing them to avoid cellular aging. In theory, they could live indefinitely. However, in practice, they die from disease, parasites, or because their exoskeleton becomes too heavy to keep shedding. Biological immortality has its limits. Mushrooms are closer to animals than to plants. Although they grow in the ground, fungi do not perform photosynthesis. Their cell walls are made of chitin, the same material as insect shells, and they feed on external organic matter. Genetically, a mushroom has far more in common with you than with a tree or lettuce. Jupiter's Great Red Spot is a storm 3 times larger than Earth that has been raging for at least 300 years. The most curious thing is that it is shrinking. A century ago, 3 Earths could fit inside it, and now only 1 fits, suggesting that one day the most famous storm in space could disappear completely. In certain parts of the ocean, there are underwater lakes of water that is saltier and denser than the surrounding sea. These lakes under the sea form when heavy salt water gets trapped in depressions on the ocean floor. Since it does not mix with the surrounding water, it appears as a completely separate surface with waves, shores, and even salty mist. Sleep paralysis occurs when you wake up but your body is still in REM phase. In that phase, the brain disconnects the muscles so you do not act out your dreams and hurt yourself. If you wake up before that shutdown turns off, you are conscious but completely paralyzed, which often generates panic hallucinations. The giraffe is one of the largest animals in the world that is at risk of extinction. A key reason is its method of drinking water. It has to spread its front legs widely and bend its neck awkwardly downward. This position makes it extremely vulnerable to predators, so it only drinks when it feels very safe. The ostrich's eye is larger than its own brain. Evolution prioritized escape over complex thinking. To survive, they need to spot predators from huge distances on the savanna. That is why their eyes are gigantic, taking up so much space in the skull that their brain ended up reduced to the size of a walnut. Most rockets and satellites are launched from Earth toward the east. This is to take advantage of the planet's rotational speed. By launching eastward, the rocket gets an additional boost of up to 1,000 miles per hour at the equator, saving a huge amount of fuel to reach orbit. Jeans are blue to hide dirt. In the 19th century, miners and workers needed durable clothing. Blue indigo dye was very cheap but had a particular chemical trait. It did not penetrate to the core of the cotton thread. This made them become softer the more they were washed, and the dark color concealed dust and grease. The small reflectors placed along the edges of roads, known as cat's eyes, are crucial for road safety. They have prismatic mirrors that intensely reflect headlight beams directly back to the driver, clearly marking lane boundaries, especially on curves and in adverse weather conditions. A giraffe's tongue is dark blue or black. Giraffes spend all day eating leaves under the intense African sun. If they had a pink tongue like us, it would get severely sunburned. Nature gave them a dark-colored tongue that acts like natural sunscreen due to its high concentration of melanin. It is also about 1.5 feet long. When you open a bag of potato chips and it is half empty, it is not because of stinginess. That space is filled with nitrogen, not regular air. It is added to preserve the freshness of the product and to prevent the chips from being crushed during transport. Without that invisible cushioning, many would arrive completely crumbled. Humpback whales travel thousands of miles in an almost perfectly straight line, with a deviation of less than 1 degree. They do not rely only on magnetism. It is believed that they map the seafloor relief using low-frequency songs that bounce off underwater mountains, allowing them to navigate in total darkness in the ocean. Helium is a finite resource and the only element on Earth that is completely irreplaceable. Once it escapes from a balloon, it rises to the edge of the atmosphere and is lost forever into space. It is vital for MRI machines in hospitals, and we are slowly running out of it. The sriracha sauce that conquered the world doesn't come from Thailand, but from a factory in California founded by a Vietnamese refugee, David Tran. Since the 1980s, he has produced the famous bottle with the rooster that went viral without massive campaigns. Just word of mouth and chefs saying, "Try this." The iron in your blood was born in the heart of giant stars that exploded as supernovae. Every time one of those stars died, it launched into space the atoms that now form your red blood cells. When we say we are stardust, it's not cheap poetry, it's pure physics. Long before Europe imagined the globe, Anaximander, in the 6th century BC, had already drawn one of the first maps of the known world, with lands floating in the void. It was far from accurate, but it was a huge leap, going from listening to travelers' stories to putting the world on a drawing. In Italy, Parmigiano Reggiano cheese is so valuable and regulated that some banks accept it as loan collateral. They have vaults where, instead of gold, there are wheels of cheese aging for years. Literally, there are businesses financed with cheese. In 1964, the USSR aired its first television advertisement, a music video for canned corn, aligned with Nikita Khrushchev's campaign to turn the country into a yellow-gold powerhouse. At the height of communist propaganda, television was also used to convince you to eat more corn. Black tea, the most consumed in the world, differs from green tea in that its leaves are completely oxidized before drying. This oxidation changes the color and aroma, adding malty and smoky notes that have made it the daily hot beverage of billions of people. Broccoli, cauliflower, kale, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts, which appear to be completely different vegetables on the plate, are actually the same species, Brassica oleracea. They are all the same wild plant that humans have been shaping for centuries, selecting for giant leaves, cabbage, compact flowers, cauliflower, broccoli, or small shoots on the stem, Brussels sprouts. The modern folding umbrella was literally born out of an artist's frustration with an inconvenient umbrella. In 1928, Viennese sculptor Sława Horowitz went out on a cold, rainy day, grew tired of carrying that enormous thing, and decided to invent one that would fit in a handbag. She designed a telescopic handle, ribs that folded inwards, and in 1929 patented a compact model that was sold under the name Flirt, with thousands of units sold in the first year. Tiramisu is not just a famous dessert. Its very name in Italian means lift me up or cheer me up because it combines strong coffee, sugar, and cocoa into a smooth burst of energy. It originated in northeastern Italy in the 1960s, and since then has become one of the most recognizable desserts on the planet, even having world championships dedicated solely to it, with categories for classic and innovative tiramisu. In its early days, YouTube was an ad-free haven until August 2007, when the first in-video ads appeared, small, semi-transparent strips that slid over the video. That moment marked the brutal shift from a platform for sharing home videos to a global advertising machine. Shortly after, skippable formats like TrueView arrived, and with them, the model we know today. No more watching viral videos without first negotiating with the skip ad button. The blood of many crustaceans, like the horseshoe crab, is blue because it uses copper instead of iron to transport oxygen. The craziest thing, that blue blood is now used in medical tests to detect toxins in vaccines and drugs. So these animals have literally become raw material for modern medicine. Escalators have brushes on the sides that many people use to clean their shoes. But that is not why they are there. They are safety measures to prevent clothing or shoelaces from getting caught in the side panel. Even so, millions of people use them as improvised cleaners every day without knowing their real function. Ultra shopping cart baskets are designed with an angle that makes your most fragile products slide to the bottom and leads you to buy more. Also, the front part is usually larger than necessary, so you feel like you are carrying less. It is pure psychology applied to consumption, and it works so well that few people notice it. Pluto has not even completed one full orbit around the Sun since it was discovered in 1930. It takes 248 Earth years to complete a single orbit around the Sun. Its first full orbit since its discovery will be in the year 2178. We are not even halfway there. The pangolin is the only mammal in the world covered in true scales made of keratin, the same material as your nails. When it feels threatened, it curls into a ball so hard that not even lions can bite through it. But its weakness is that it can remain like that for hours, making it easy for humans to capture it without effort. The parrotfish sleeps every night inside a sleeping bag made of its own mucus. It creates a transparent bubble that surrounds its entire body to hide its scent from nocturnal predators, such as eels, and also prevents marine parasites from attaching to its skin while it rests. It is the only fish that tucks itself into sleep. The Glaucus atlanticus, known as the blue dragon, is a small mollusk that floats upside down on the surface of the sea. It feeds on Portuguese man-o'-war, venomous jellyfish, and it is not only immune to their venom, but also stores it in its own extremities to use it as a defensive weapon that is even more concentrated and lethal than that of the jellyfish itself. The can was invented 48 years before the can opener. In 1810, Peter Duran patented canned food made of iron for the British Navy. The cans had instructions that said, "Cut around with a chisel and a hammer." Soldiers often had to open them by shooting them or using bayonets. The wheel can opener was not invented until 1858. Mirrors are not perfect, they are green. A perfect mirror would reflect 100% of the light in the color white, but commercial mirrors are made of silica glass that absorbs a bit of light. The mesh on a microwave door has holes of a very specific size. They are large enough to let light pass through, which is a very small wave, so you can see the food, but small enough to block microwaves, which are larger waves. Without that mesh, the microwaves would escape and you would be cooked while waiting for your food. And with this, we reach the end of this video. Give it a like, subscribe if you have not done so yet, and activate the bell so you do not miss a single curious fact. Share this video with someone who loves learning new things. They will thank you. See you in the next video.